Hi everyone, here it is late February and the cabin updates are, we've got the clapboard siding on the interior. That's the finish on the interior is the clapboard siding. This is the material this material was taken from a schoolhouse south of Herm, Missouri. It's in the range of 60 to 70 years old. Removed from the schoolhouse, wire brushed off, and each piece was hand selected to give this a nice finish on the interior of the second story. Behind this is insulation, and behind that is the exterior clapboard siding. Over here, you see the plastic blowing a little bit in the wind. John's trimmed out the windows, and we're now ready to put the windows in. Downstairs, it's 58 degrees. Up here, it's 6 degrees, and outside, it's 40 degrees. So that's for using the wood stove as heat. To help the heat come upstairs, we've got a floor grate here. This will all be framed out. So the heat rises up through the floor grate, moves over, falls down the stairs, and through the dog trot area. Now it's called a timber frame, and back through the main cabin stove, so we have a nice circulating system of heat. Also, you might be wondering how we're going to get furniture up here. It's a very small staircase. So what we have here is an opening, removable opening, that allows us to move furniture up and down from the first floor to the second floor. Here I've got one of the floorboards, and this is approximately 18 inches in width. This would have been your old growth timber. This area is settled in the 1840s, and they had taken all the trees from the surrounding area. But the least expensive way to get material on site. Cut it in the area, take it to local sawmills, and then use it on the buildings in the area. Here, the chinking has been done on the interior of the building. We went with a chinking color that would have been common during that time period, which is a light gray. With the lighter colors, allows for a higher reflective value to keep the interior of the cabin brighter. Now, right now, we've got all the windows. There are 2, 4, 6, 8 windows upstairs. It's fairly light inside at this time, and that's with the double pieces of plastic over the windows. As far as the windows, that was a project in itself. The idea was to get windows that were common in that time period. First was where you had to determine what type of wood was used. Well, the most common wood available at that time in this area would have been your white oak. So I was able to find a company in St. Louis called Messing Mill and Planing that specialized in recreating windows of that era. So these windows are an 1 1/8 in thickness, and they're called a mortise and tenon design, whereby there's an opening here and then a peg goes in the window. All the joints are fitted together, and these are called single light windows, which is each glass is separate, whereas the modern windows we're familiar with today has one piece of glass and they lay in frame to make it look like a single light window. These are all single pane, which I will not have the R value of what the modern windows have to this day. Back in those days, they used what they called we call a wavy glass today, because the methods they made the glass. It was not flat sheet of glass that we use. It had little waves in, bubbles, and imperfections. Now, I had been searching to find that same type of glass, wasn't able to come up with it. When I went to pick the windows up, Mark over at Messing Planing told me that, hey John, I was able to find enough glass to do all your windows in wavy glass. He had these sashes that had been around for years, where customers had brought old windows in, that he would copy the old windows and reproduce new windows. He had them sitting around. He broke those down, took the glass out, recut all the glass, and installed it in these windows that I'll be using in the cabinet. Windows will go in, and in the upstairs, they're going to be hung in two different methods. One is, it's going to be hung where, from the top, and it'll hinge back up like that to give us to minimize the amount of space being used for the window swing. We also have these stops made up. Well, these stops will be where the window presses up against. We also have a drip edge. That's going to go on the lower part of the window, so that when the water, imagine that's the window, water hits the window, comes down, rolls down a drip edge, and if you can see there's a little groove right there. Water will come in but can't roll back to come inside the cabinet. So it'll fall off that drip edge and then roll out off the sill. We're almost finished with the cabin. Next step is to finish the doors up, get these windows installed. Right now we're facing a little weather that's not going to allow us to do that. But we're about a week away from having this cabinet ready to move in. Thank you very much.